Welcome to Being at Home with George. I'm excited to be here, and I also would like to remind us of how we start each one of these conversations, and that is to say yes to whatever's coming up, whatever's there, saying yes to it, embracing it, and at the same time generating hope. So I'm coming to you today, having had a week of a lot of work in terms of, I don't know how many of you have gotten into spring cleaning or maybe just cleaning out a closet or having some tasks that are challenging that one has to go through. For me, it was we got a house painted, and in the interim, we've had to clean out the garage and look at some stuff. And to me, it feels overwhelming to have this task that's going to be several weeks, and it's going to take a tremendous amount of energy and effort, not to mention the emotional content when you have to decide what to discard. And so a lot of us have different tasks. It may be we have a project. I happen to have a project, writing a book and having deadlines for content. And so it's just this feeling of it's a lot, and it doesn't seem to be any vacation on the horizon, if you will. Some of us, I know, we're in a school year, whether it's college or high school, or maybe it's just the family has this tradition of going away for vacation, and we may be weeks away, and some of us may not have a vacation on the horizon. So, how do we deal with that? How do we renew? How do we get reset and we reboot? And so, I'm reminded of this idea of pockets of stillness. This brain picking. So this is a email service or a service that I sign up for. You get these wonderful information twice a week now. You get the Wednesday and on Sunday. And the author, Maria Popova, she talks about the 10 lessons from 10 years of brain pickings. And one of them happens to be pockets of stillness, finding pockets of stillness, finding pockets of rest. And I think regardless of what we're doing, I suspect that we all get to a point where we feel like we're running out of gas or we have a task that's overwhelming, and we have to figure out, well, how can I rest when I have miles and miles before I sleep? And like I said, there's no rest on the horizon, or there's no end to what we're doing, or it feels like that. It could be a school year, or it could be whatever the task is, or maybe it's just feeling the stress and pressure of coming out of a pandemic, or still kind of being in one and trying to make up for lost time. The point is that we can't wait until the vacation. We have to be able to find pockets of stillness uh, where we are right now. We need to find this way of resting, this way of taking a coffee break. I think of a coffee break. We have to be able to rest. We have to be able to reboot, renew. And I know what's been helpful for me is to pause and to take a break and to just rest, just to sit and be still, be quiet, just to breathe in and breathe out, and the rest in the breath, rest in the body. That we could do that. We don't have to close our eyes. We can just pause for the cause and just sit and just breathing in. I feel my body, breathing out, letting go, just being here. And it helps to even smile a little bit. But to realize that even though we're working hard and we're doing something, we can rest, we can be at ease. And that's really just what sometimes referred to as letting and resting. And so I've done a lot of work. I've moved a lot of stuff out of the house into the storage part or whatever. And it's an ability to just rest and let what I've done, let it set, let it be there, let it be enough. And then resting and then letting and realizing that inch by inch, step by step, just doing what I know to do, and then the next step will be given. So it's a process, it's an incremental process, but in the way of taking the steps in the right directions toward the goal, there's this ability to rest and just be aware of breathing in, breathing out, and just resting in this moment, not having to do anything, not having to think about anything, but just being in my body, just resting and taking a pause for the cause. So, and even in the activity, there's an ability to rest or to use the right amount of effort, not too much, not too little. And I'm reminded of that saying, that quote that I refer to every once in a while. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so when I'm working, bringing things out of the house, I don't have to be in a hurry. I just have to just take the next thing out, make the next play, move the next article, and then come back and trust that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I'll develop a rhythm or a momentum, and that it becomes somewhat effortless, but I can actually rest in the activity itself. But what sets that up is being able to find these pockets of stillness where I may just take a moment or two where I just sit and I just breathe or I just pause and just be in the body and not be thinking about anything, but just being at ease, being at rest. And so a lot of us think that we need a vacation or we need a half an hour or 20 minutes to sit and maybe pray or meditate or just go for a walk along the beach or in the neighborhood. Those things are good, but not being able to do that, it's still possible to just settle back and just let the process play itself out, that we're moving towards our goal. We may not be trying to go to Mount Olympus, but if we were going to Mount Olympus, it would be taking a step in the right direction and we'll get there. So this idea of resting in the body, resting in the moment, and understanding these pockets of stillness are still effective. We don't need a whole vacation. Maybe we just need a relaxation vacation or ease vacation where we're just being at rest where we are, resting in the body, resting in the breath, and letting go and letting be, and just forming the intention and allowing it to happen, trusting that our effort will bear fruit. It's much like we plant seeds. We don't dig up the plant to see that it's growing. We just plant the seeds, we nurture it, and then we just allow it to grow. And we can do the same thing with our efforts. We can make the right effort. We can do things in a way where we're not trying too hard and not trying hard enough, but we can be in a rhythm and a flow that helps us keep it moving, keep it going. And we can be like water and just trust that we can have rest now. We don't have to wait until we go on vacation. We can have pockets of stillness here where we are right now.